Good afternoon and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Providence Holy Cross Medical Center, IMAC Med Spa, and Comfort Keepers in Home Care. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Thomas Polucki,
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our first guest is Kevin MacDonald, woohoo, CEO of the SCV Senior Center.
Nice to be with you.
Oh, yes, good to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, but I think we have a celebration this week, do we not, Dr. Tom?
Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Barbara. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. And many more.
And many more.
Yes, absolutely.
Ba-dum-bum.
So how do you feel this week?
I feel great. It's interesting. I was busy over the weekend because my daughter's birthday was Saturday and mine was Monday, and the kids took us to dinner at Backwoods Inn on Sunday. And Monday I did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I didn't even turn the computer on. And then, yes, I did at 4:00 that afternoon because I had a Zoom call with some of my Zonta sisters. And that was fun. It really was. And they sang happy birthday to me also. So it was good. It really was. But getting back to our guest.
Yes. We have so much going. I just left the parking lot at Bella Vita. There's no parking available. It was 11:30. We have a flu clinic going on, so the Department of Public Health came out, and thanks to them, they got a COVID vaccine clinic going on and a regular flu clinic going on. So we are swamped over there today, and that's been sold out. And then, of course, people are coming for a wonderful lunch today. We got the chicken fajitas flying out. So it's a good day, and I felt bad leaving Bella Vita in the middle of all the chaos, but it's really working out well, and they're having a good time, and people are coming in with good spirits, and they're lining up for the vaccines that they wanted, and the public health, the official people are there, the doctors and nurses, so it's really nice to see that in operation in the middle of the day.
Well, that's terrific because I got this article out of the newspaper in September, the end of September. 3 vaccines seniors should consider getting this fall. And I wanted to ask you guys about that at some point, maybe during the break.
Okay. I think you need to do your own research and see what's available too, because we understand some of the vaccines for the seniors aren't quite available yet, so you have to make sure you pick the right ones. It's an important time to educate yourself on what vaccines to get and check with your doctor.
Yeah, well, I've had my flu shot, and I've had my 3 whatever they have had of the COVID, but I haven't had anything else since. So I don't know what I should do.
Right.
So,
all right. Well, check with your doctor. We're fortunate to work with Henry Mayo Hospital quite frequently on these issues, and also the Department of Public Health. So we're very fortunate.
Okay, good.
So that's going on today, and then this weekend we have a sold-out Elton John concert. It's a tribute band. And that's sold out with 400 people at Bella Vita. So if you see us rocking on the hill to Elton John on Saturday night, you'll know why.
Well, that parking lot is a perfect place.
Well, that's where they're parking, but we brought all the concerts inside.
Oh,
so
you
they have
did?
a very nice venue inside now, yes.
But you've even had movies outside,
Yes.
too. And that's really great because you can get so many people in
Right.
there.
No.
Plus that huge movie screen.
Right.
But it's great.
We're fortunate. Yeah, so Elton John comes in this weekend, and then we're bringing a great Beach Boys tribute band to come in for the holidays at Christmas. So they'll be here in December, and that'll be another. We sell out within 2 days of our concerts.
So when you say 2 days of your concerts, when do tickets go on sale? Just before the concert, or are they already available?
No, they go on sale the Monday after the last concert. So
Gotcha.
The Elton John goes on Saturday. On Monday, we'll put the concert tickets available for the Beach Boys in December. And we'll have several events in December getting after the holidays. So,
there you go.
So we're real happy with that.
Wow.
So
And
then
what's the website?
it's myscvcoa.org. You can get everything right there. So myscvcoa.org.
And that also has your schedule for
Yes.
everything going on.
All the
Your
schedule.
classes, your events, your
You want to
lunches.
sign up for a Zumba class? That's where you do it.
There
You want to
you
get on
go.
a trips and tours? That's where you do it. You want to check out what the menu of the month is? That's where you do it to see which day you want to come.
And the telephone number is
Oh.
661-259-9444.
You got it, Barbara.
Yes.
Thank you.
That will never leave. Never leave.
So. And then after Elton John, we got Bingo coming back. Bingo, we reintroduced it after a 3-year hiatus. And so that's coming back. And next Tuesday at 3 o'clock is Bingo open at the Senior Center. So we are back
that's
and swinging
terrific.
with Bingo again. So again, you can make reservations for that because that'll sell out as well. And
Bingo
that's on the way.
that's on Tuesday.
It'll be on likely the last Tuesday of each month. And
Okay.
at 3 o'clock. So we'll try to get it on a regular schedule so people can plan on that. And that's always a big hit.
Well, I was there Tuesday. I go to your emotional support group. And do you realize there were 17 people there today?
17. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had them lined up around the wall. The table was full, and then there were 3 on the on the TV screen.
I'm going to have to get you a bigger room.
Well, if people keep coming in like that, and the whole, we were there until, I think it was a little afternoon, because there were so many people there, and everyone shares their weekly experiences, And with some of the newer people who came, we got a little bit of their history, which took a little bit longer time. So I think that's why we had. It went so late. And of course, Etta wasn't there because she hadn't been feeling good and had a cold and didn't want to share it with everybody. So she was on the Zoom call.
Okay.
So, but it was really, really interesting finding out things about other seniors who've gone through all kinds of stuff in their lives, And it's really a fantastic group. And I urge as many seniors as possible to attend.
But most people don't know what an emotional support group is. So describe who would go to that support group.
Well, mostly seniors who have lost loved ones, either sons or daughters, husbands, wives, somebody who has lost a significant other in their family. And it's kind of, everyone supports everyone there, because we're all able to talk about what's happened in our lives. And it's so meaningful. It really is. And I will not stop going on a Tuesday morning.
Clearly.
No way. No way. And I usually make phone calls to some of the shut-in seniors, but I was given a list saying, okay, you can take it home.
Okay, good.
Because we were there so late. And so I've been making phone calls from home, which is a fun thing to do.
Well, it's nice of you to do that.
It really
as a
is. It's
volunteer.
a lot of fun to do that, because so many of the seniors they're there. They don't go anywhere. And I'm very fortunate that my son and my daughter come down from Palmdale and either spend the night with me and or take me places during the day. Like today, we've got a full day.
Well, that's Barbara's schedule, right? She's got a full day, and she's got some nice family support. Not everyone has
yes.
that, so kudos to you and your family for supporting you.
That's so important. It really is. And that's why I think this emotional support group is so valuable for so many seniors who are there.
Okay, well, let's keep spreading the word, because you can join those emotional support groups whenever you want. You can also do it via Zoom as well. So, again,
Yes.
contact the Senior Center at our website or just call us, and let's get you in there and check it out.
It's
It's
wonderful.
not an obligation, and it's free.
It's wonderful, and it's interesting because I lost Russ a little over 4.5 years ago, and it's been so good for me to be able to go there and share, because so many of them also, it's been several years since they've lost a loved one. Right. But it really is worth taking the time to go on a Tuesday morning, and it starts at 10 o'clock. It really is. It's wonderful. It really is.
And it just goes to show you the senior center is not just all about food.
Right.
You know, there's so much more going on. We have other support groups. You're talking about the emotional support group. We have another separate one for grief support group. We have grandparents as parents support group.
Yes.
And also a caregiver support group. So caregivers is like your daughter and your family taking care of you.
Right.
But we've also learned that those caregivers are so vulnerable, and depending on their situation, they have need for support to talk it out with someone, especially when we're working with somebody with Alzheimer's, and what they need and what's right and wrong, and who can they talk to that are in similar situations. So family caregivers are a big focus on us, saying we take care of the individual, but it's so important to make sure that those caregivers get through this process as well and have the information they need, but also someone to vent with. I know I dealt with my sister, who was the caregiver for our family, and she needed someone to talk to. So she would call and go on for a half hour, and I would just let her and absorb it, because we need to share that with someone to get it off of our chest. And it's so nice to do it with somebody objective or someone not in your family sometimes. And that's what our caregiver support groups are there for resources, but also to share, like you said, with your emotional
Oh,
support
yeah.
group.
Well, it's interesting, too, because we have an elderly gentleman there who his daughter brings him. And she's a support for him. Mm-hmm. But she also hears what goes on with other people who are in that same room, you know. And it's a terrific meeting to go to, and I urge seniors who can possibly get there to go there,
Right.
and be involved in it, because it's really it's kind of a healing process
Right.
for so many who are there.
Yeah, and as you said, even the people who can't get there can Zoom in.
Yes.
And that may or may not be, common I'm struggling with Zoom. I mean, it's been around for several years, and especially during the lockdown, it became very popular. But, we're older, and tech isn't necessarily first nature to us. So sometimes, people just throw stuff out there. Oh, just Zoom it. And I'm like, yeah,
Well, that's
okay,
a
well,
little-
I know what Zoom is. I know that, I've seen it, but, when I try to do things with it besides just join a meeting, which is not that difficult, as long as you have the link,
Someone has to email you
you can
the
join a
link.
meeting, but, beyond that, it becomes a little bit challenging for most people. So when, Kevin, when people check out your website, are the links there for the Zoom meetings, or do they have to take an extra step to get?
They need to talk to us, because we don't want to
Yeah.
give those Zoom links out to the world.
I
Of course.
gotcha.
But someone who's registered with us saying, I would like to join, you're a senior in the Valley, we'll send you the link via email from that. And
Got
then,
it.
like you said, it's one click. That's all you have to know for the Zoom once you get that link. And we don't do anything more fancy than that. We are Zoom 101 and not any more advanced than that.
Got it.
And that's key. But you're right. No, not everyone in the world can hop on that link, because it's a private group.
Yes.
And we
it
restrict
is.
who can get onto it. And then also we gauge who's joining us. And if we have their name in, they're welcome to join us.
Okay, so they would request
Yes.
to Zoom into that meeting on your website.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that would make me feel a lot more
Yes.
comfortable.
You
I don't know
have to
about
email
any-
me and the
yeah.
staff, and
Yeah.
we can send you that once we make sure we confirm who you are, what you're doing.
Cool.
That
And-
place is busy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Every time I've been in there have been 4 or 5 or more people signing up at the front desk, filling out paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just amazing the number of people who go there.
Yeah, we continue to grow. We'll get up to 10 to 20 people a day signing up new for meals every day, coming in
yes.
and filling out the form. We don't know where they're coming from, because we don't do a lot of advertising,
Right.
because they're so busy. But the word's getting out, and that's the important thing. And we're still able to handle the lunches.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have meals delivered on Monday and Friday.
Right.
Right.
And,
So, okay. So, there's levels of stuff. And the level that we're talking about is all the amazing resources that are available at the Senior Center. But then there's next level stuff for people who are pillars in the community, like Barb, who helped set up this Senior Center. Where does your support come from? I mean, how do you pay for these meals that are substantial.
Right.
There's a lot of meals going out of there every day.
Right.
So how does that bill get paid?
That bill gets paid partly from your federal government, which is great. It's called the Older Americans Act, established in 1973. They said, we want to make sure that seniors who are 60 and over can get a nutritious meal in this country. And that's what was established. So in your community, wherever you're at, if you have a senior center or someone that can bring meals to you, and they pay a portion of the meals. The second half of the meals has to be donations.
Right.
So we ask everyone to contribute to make those meals. It's not a full government subsidy by any means, nor do I believe should it be.
Right.
And that's where those donations help match the funds that are coming in.
Okay, so that's there on the spot, or is there something else going on that we should know about?
No,
The donation.
The donations are, we encourage people to go to the website, because the first thing you're going to see on the website is donate now, please.
Got it. Yeah, okay.
And that helps us to fund the programs. A lot of people think, oh, they get all the money from the government for that.
Yeah,
no,
no.
not any means.
No.
We're fortunate to have a county and Supervisor Barger who makes sure the funds get through us, because it comes from the federal government. It stops at the state for a split second, and then really the county administers this meals program. And we are so fortunate to have such a good county and representatives there that really support us and make sure we're getting the funding. Because as we grow, we are concerned, will we have enough meals for this
Right.
year? Because my year goes through June 30th. And we just sent to the county another request yesterday saying we need another $3 million worth of meals to come in to make it to June. And they're trying to find ways to find through the federal government program and through the county programs to support us with that meal, with the continued growth here, and we're in Antelope Valley as well. So
Yes.
we're constantly working the chains on that, but we're going to send out an appeal letter soon, right around Thanksgiving time. And this
Right.
appeal letter is to the general population. As many people on our mailing list say, please support us this time, and we get really nice support. And every week we get some letters from people sending in notes saying thank you for the wonderful meal, and they may send in even $10, but that helps us along the way too.
Sure.
And some people are more generous, but we get the kindest notes, because I think the population we're serving, at least what I've experienced, they're very, very grateful. This
Yeah.
is a grateful population, which is, to me, is like, what a wonderful gift back to us. And when we share it with the staff and the board saying, these people are really saying thank you, and that doesn't always happen in life. Sometimes
Right.
you have to give and expect nothing, and that's what we do, with our philanthropy or with our giving. But our folks are saying thank you an awful lot with the kindest little notes, and they're just scribbled on a piece of paper with a little check inside or a couple of dollars, and that's all they can afford because they're on fixed income.
Sure.
So I don't want any of our seniors to feel pressured on that front, and that's an important point. We have a lot of seniors on fixed income and low income, and we want them to feel
Very true.
welcome and access to our services. If you have a little bit more, sure, give a little bit more. But if you don't, we just appreciate a little something.
Sure.
So it's an important point, because we don't charge a fee to come to Bella Vita right now. And I've been
Right.
asked about that. Why don't you guys charge a fee?
I
Why don't
know.
you charge for all your classes and everything else? And I'm like, you don't know our population.
Right.
And once I start doing that, I separate a whole population out of who, and we're there to serve. As a private nonprofit, our job is to serve. The city says, please serve. The county says, please serve. And we're going to serve as well as we can with not charging exorbitant fees or trying to make a buck on our seniors. That's not our job. Our job is to serve them, and we'll figure out the funds later and hope the community supports us. And this community has been fantastic.
Awesome.
Well, we have a lot of seniors living out here. We really do. Because so many of them want to get away from that San Fernando Valley,
I'm going
It's-
to criticize the San Fernando Valley today.
Well, no,
but
I'm
we're
not
grateful that they're here.
criticizing.
But we're
But
also
it's-
welcome to anyone who wants to come here. We don't check your ID. We don't check that you're from Santa Clarita, but most people are. But some people will make some good travel to get here for special events.
Sure.
And for when they see the menu, they may come up for a special meal.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So once again, please run down all the different contacts. We're going to save Barb for last with that all critical phone number. But everything that you talked about today is essentially the resources, the schedule, the what's coming, all of that stuff, how to donate is all available on your website. And what is that again?
That's myscvcoa.org. Everything is there. So much coming up. We have so much coming up for veterans, because November is our Veterans Month. We're going to
Sure.
honor them as much as we can. So Thanksgiving is a special day for us. We serve Thanksgiving lunch every year.
Nice.
So lots of stuff coming on, and that'll all be on the website to check it out.
Beautiful. And Barb, what's the phone number?
661-259-9444.
Awesome.
Yes, yes.
You're listening to the Senior Hour. Our guest this portion has been Kevin MacDonald from the Senior Center. And this is KHTS 98.1 AM 1220, hometownstation.com.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Thomas Polucki, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And our guest now is one of our sponsors from Comfort Keepers in Home Care, Myles McNamara, the one and only.
Hello. Nice to be back. How you guys doing?
Awesome. It's always great to
Doing
have
great.
you on. I know I don't have to carry the conversation ever with Myles in the room. So, Myles, I know you have a couple of really important things to talk about today. One thing that is so prevalent, unfortunately, is the online scams. And for whatever reason, they do tend to target seniors a lot.
Yeah. And one thing we've noticed, I mean, is if anyone's been living in a cave for a while, that what we do is Comfort Keepers does in-home care. So, our caregivers come into the home and we help our clients stay there safely and help them with activities of daily living. And some of the things that we've seen, obviously, not in their own personal lives, but as you said, as they focus in on seniors, is the scamming world out there is just becoming so sophisticated.
Yeah.
And seniors are actually one of the highest new groups onto the internet and utilizing computers and so the awareness that they call it phishing, PFISHING.
Yes.
Where you get these emails that look so real.
Yeah.
They've perfectly replicated your bank logo, all these different little details, just wanting you to click that link.
Yep.
Saying that, there's something wrong with your account or your credit card's going to be canceled or I would just never, ever, ever click a link on an email that you're not 110% positive that it's from somebody that's on your list of acceptable emails. And then another thing that's really reared its ugly head is the sophistication of artificial intelligence, AI, where it replicates a loved one's voice. So you will get a phone call and you would bet your bottom dollar that that's your loved one, your spouse, your child, whoever on the other phone in distress.
Right.
Asking you for help, asking you
Right.
for money, asking you for, wire me this or this is going to happen. And again, it's their identical voice.
Yep.
So what we've, and I didn't create this, but what I've done with my family members is you create an AI password. So, and you don't talk about it on the cell phone because they're always listening. You get something you should do in person.
Right.
So that if somebody calls you from your inner circle,
Right.
they're in distress,
Right.
and it sounds just like them, and
Right.
they're really going at it, stop them and say, what's our password?
Right.
Because AI won't know that.
Right.
They'll be able to replicate your voice. They'll be able to replicate a lot of things. But if you've privately set a password with your family,
Right.
that when you say, what's our password? If they don't say it, hang up.
Exactly.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
And don't
Never
don't do
thought
it
about
via
that.
email. Don't do it over the phone because Big Brother's always watching, right?
Yeah.
But AI, I mean, how often have we just talked about something? Our phones are locked, sitting on the counter.
Yeah, and
we
then all of a
talk
sudden
about
you get an ad
product.
for it.
Yeah, we talk about a product.
Yeah.
And next time we jump on social media, we see an ad for that product.
Yeah.
So don't tell me that was coincidence. These
No,
mics
yeah.
are always hot.
Yep.
And even if you have cameras on your if you have a webcam on your TV or your computer, they've got little mechanisms that you can block that until you want it and know that it's open. But I kid you not, I've talked. We actually play with it in our office. We'll talk about something intentionally.
Yep.
And then we'll open our social media
And
bam,
it's there.
There's an ad for it.
Yeah.
And that's creepy.
It is very creepy. And there's, we now live in a world where that kind of voice command runs our house. It runs our TVs. It runs our computers. It runs our phones. So there's always ears, back in the day in East Germany, the Stasi would spend a considerable amount trying to get bugs into the house.
Oh yeah, it's commonplace.
Right Now we pay thousands of dollars to invite the bugs into our house. They're on our TV, they're on our phone, they're on our computer. And you even pay a premium service to have your thermostat and your lights and everything just, turn this on or turn that off.
Yeah.
Well, that just goes to show you that it's always listening. It's always listening. And you want to believe that it's only going out to advertisers. It's that information is only being sold to advertisers. But come on, really?
Well, and even that's a violation of privacy, I think. But also, we accept it into our lives, as you said, for convenience, and now we pay them to bug our house, so to speak. But if you take, just don't be so darn lazy. There are settings that you can do. I mean, you can turn the microphone off on your phone so it doesn't come alive when you say, "Hey Siri." I mean, for goodness sakes, go ahead and push the button manually to talk to your computer or your phone, but you can turn the look at that, I said that and it came alive.
Right.
Shut up. But so you can do your settings so that you have to push the button to activate Siri. You don't have to just activate it vocally. So turn that microphone off. Same with
Right.
Alexa. You can God forbid you might have to get up and walk over and push the mic
Can
button
I just
on
interject
Alexa.
there?
Sure.
I did that, and I still get hit with the ads on private conversations. So I don't know
With your microphone off?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have the setting of manually operating Siri, but
Yeah,
you also
no.
can turn your microphone off, which is supposed to deaden your microphone on your phone.
Supposed to.
See, and that's just it. The NSA has gone way overboard, so the whole Patriot Act ruined our entire privacy and stuff. But again, there are some, my bottom line point is there are some measures you can take. May not be foolproof, but it can round the
Sure.
corner, so to speak. That might have to do things the old-fashioned way and get up and push a button or something, and then have your answers at your fingertip. But keep in mind too, it's not just verbal AI. I mean, you see these deep fakes now of videos of facial reconstruction of
It's
somebody.
crazy
And not
how
only
good
you
that
hearing-
has gotten
yeah,
in the
not only
past
hearing
year.
the verbal, but you're
just
seeing
this year.
the visual as well. So again, even if they FaceTime you saying I'm in trouble, ask them what your password is.
Yeah.
So I can't stress enough to you guys and our listeners as well, in your inner circle of loved ones in your family, create that AI password.
I love
so
that.
when things go a little sideways, you just say, let me stop you right there. What's our password?
Yeah. It's
So-
like those old spy movies. You almost have to turn on the blender and the stereo and whisper stuff in people's
Exactly.
ears in order to, have any kind of privacy anymore.
Well, it's that old joke you hear, when the husband's whispering to his wife, and she's like, "Why are you whispering?" Because they're listening. I don't want to be overheard. And so she laughed, and Facebook laughed, and Alexa laughed, and Siri laughed.
Everybody's in on the
'cause
joke.
Again, it's like, how long have had this technology? I mean, I guess if you think it, you can make it come true. But think back in the old Star Trek days, and
Yeah.
some of these old sci-fi movies when it was so outlandish, the stuff that doors that opened by themselves when you walked in, and verbal commands. You're going, "Wow, Gene Roddenberry's a genius. This is crazy." And now everything's there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I guess you think it, you do it, it's there.
Yeah, here's the trippy stuff. Watch 2001 Space Odyssey. Would that come out in 62 or something
Not
like
sure,
that?
yeah.
Just take a look at it. I am 100% confident that everything Apple came out of that movie. They are working on iPads. They are talking on iPhones. I mean, it looks like the design pattern for everything Apple since.
Stanley was ahead of his time.
Yeah, it's insane. And I heard something somewhere that they actually went to some kind of very early tech convention and saw 2001, and that kind of moved the whole tech world forward. A science fiction movie
Yep.
created the technology.
I mean, if you think about it, the tricorder with the Star Trek, the
Yep.
opening door. Now, the only thing that's missing almost from those days, and I'm hoping they can do it, which I'd be like Dr. McCoy, I wouldn't probably want to do it, is the transporter.
Right.
Scrambling my cells all over the universe, Jim. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
But can you imagine having a transporter that you just, boom.
Yeah, for anything else besides getting in it myself, that'd be pretty handy.
Yeah.
How much would it save on shipping costs?
Yeah, but back to the original point. The AI, the visual, the verbal, the scams. And obviously people are still doing it in person as well. I mean, that old adage, if it's too good to be true, it probably is not, or there's no such thing as a free lunch. When you have these people, and I can't believe they're still doing it this day and age, they'll actually show up at your door. And offer to do some kind of something that, but if they want money up front, first of all, I wouldn't even suggest opening your door to a stranger anymore. But, but more than in person is the technology aspect of scamming our seniors. And, so have your software up to date, have your antivirus on your computer, don't be clicking on weird links and visiting. I mean, I'll be on my computer at work and I'm just on Microsoft Edge or something and and I'm searching Google or something, all of a sudden one of those ransomware BS things come up, and I immediately just turn off my computer. I've lucked out so far. But if they get in there and they lock your computer, we're not CIA operatives, so I mean, what do they want with my home care company? But if you have a company that has important data, or if that data is breached, it could really create an issue for you. Make sure your antivirus and your firewalls and all those other things are up to date, so that you don't get penetrated at the office with ransomware or any kind of virus.
Sure.
Well, it's interesting. I don't have email on my phone. I just have a regular phone that I answer and make calls.
Sometimes you have to take control of your life. A lot of times people are now using email like text. I'll see someone and say, "Did you get my email I sent you 10 minutes ago?" I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not attached to my phone like that. It's like, now email is text apparently, because if you don't respond to an email in 30 minutes, you're disrespectful. It's like, sorry, you've got to have a work-life balance. You have to have a balance in your life, period. And it's like some of these people that, it's just like, bam, 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 bam. Nope, sorry. I'm off the grid right now.
Yeah. I don't have my phone on all the time. Yeah, I mean, it's there where I see it, and sometimes my daughter she'll actually dial through, "Mom, didn't you see my text?" Oh, I don't look at it all the time. I mean, I keep it there for phone calls.
Yeah.
But that's it. My email is on my computer. That's where I answer all my emails. I don't have anything on here.
And also it's above my pay grade as far as what can be hacked and what can't be hacked. But even your Ring cameras in your home. Have it outside. Be sure you can see your front yard, the front door. But don't have live cameras inside your home where I don't know if they can be hacked or not. I mean, I can't imagine those being impenetrable. But if you have Ring cameras, be aware. Just for a minute, think that you don't care if anybody can see this, because possibly they can.
In this day and age, you just have to assume that everything you do, everything you say is being analyzed.
Yeah.
Scrutinized by people who don't necessarily have your best intentions.
Well, and before this whole AI thing really took hold, we actually had a client once in the past. She wasn't a client at the time, but her family told us, where she got one of these phone calls from her granddaughter saying she was in trouble and please don't tell Mom, she'll be upset. So of course the daughter and they had a conversation after this whole episode.
Sure.
But she actually wired $5,000 to her granddaughter to get her out of trouble with the promise she wouldn't tell Mom. So she literally fell for it because she was so convinced that her granddaughter was in trouble.
My mom got the same call from my nephew, supposedly my nephew, but she at that point was savvy enough to know that something was wrong with that whole thing. Yeah. But it's very convincing, especially when, they hit you on the emotional level. It's like, oh, don't tell anybody, blah, 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 blah. I'm really in trouble. I need this right now. And it works, obviously.
And the thing, too, obviously, we see in our caregivers notice this a lot as well, is as our clients start to have, some cognitive issues or
Sure.
short-term memory loss, and so they're not thinking about that. There's the emotion, as you said, it's a loved one and stuff. So a lot of times we bring that into the discussion with our adult kids and stuff when we notice that our clients might, we have to have that talk,
Yeah.
where we sit them down and maybe start taking the precautions
Yeah.
for our aging loved ones.
Yeah.
That maybe they don't have free reign on the computer
Exactly.
anymore.
You
have
need
a
to
phone that's restricted in some way, because
give them a firewall.
Right.
Don't let them have direct access to their bank account. They have to ask a conservator. Is that it?
Well, conservators, when they've been completely diagnosed as
All right. Well, not a conservator, but like a
power of attorney.
Power
type
of attorney.
Thing. Yeah, but and again, don't be a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
Be respectful. Don't,
Sure.
It's sort of that same step when you discuss, when it's time to take your aging loved one's car keys. You don't.
It's just
don't
a
be
safety
bull in a china
precaution.
shop.
Yeah.
You have to have that conversation. We've talked about it in the past. I know we have a break coming up, and maybe we can talk about it after. Is to create that roadmap. That old sayings I've said 100 times on the show, that people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan.
Yeah.
So you should really have a conversation with your aging loved ones before it becomes an issue, so that they're participating in those choices.
Yep.
And so then when it comes time to have certain trigger points in your life, you say, we've talked about this. And,
Yep.
Again, it's their call, it's their
Right.
idea, it's their map, it's their journey. Don't be that jerk adult child that's going to come in and, be that bull in a china shop. You
Well,
have to have respect.
my
I could-
daughter is. We're going to be contacting our attorney to have her be the. What did you just
Power
say?
of attorney?
Power of attorney.
Power of attorney. Sure.
Yeah.
It's just a financial firewall. Because we're in business, we understand the importance of a firewall. I have like 3 on my critical systems in my business, but if you're not in business for yourself, and you haven't been since computers were everything, you may not know what a firewall. It's just a level of protection.
Yeah.
It's for your own good.
Yes.
That you can't get critically damaged by people who are just out to steal from you.
Cyber warfare.
Yep.
That's right.
And we'll be back in a minute. You're listening to the Senior Hour, KHTS 98.1 AM 1220, hometownstation.com.
Back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Thomas Polucki, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. And we're speaking with one of our sponsors from Comfort Keepers in Home Care, Myles McNamara. And wow, what an interesting conversation.
I know, right? What's our password?
There you go, kiddo.
But you touched on something right before the break. I know we've talked about it on the show before, but I just want to review is you talked about the Advanced Healthcare Directive, and we should all have those legal documents in place. As I said before the break, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. But this is even true when your children turn 18, because you don't get to play the mom or dad card anymore. Once the child turns 18, they're now a legal adult.
That's
And
right.
if something, God forbid, happens and they're taken to the hospital, that's the first thing your doctor's going to ask for is who has the Advanced Healthcare Directive. And an Advanced Healthcare Directive, sorry for the folks who've heard me babble on about this before, is that you've designated a person to speak on your behalf if you can't speak for yourself. And what we talked about the planning, again, before the break, was that have these conversations with your loved ones before they become an issue. So when you say, and it doesn't have to be a family member, by the way, you could put your Advanced Healthcare Directive agent as someone that you trust that will do exactly as you say and won't take the emotional route and say, well, this is, I think, what they would have wanted. No, we've had this conversation.
Right.
This is exactly the map I've drawn you.
Right.
How often have we heard about kids standing out in the hallway of the hospital arguing about, well, mom would have wanted this. No, she wouldn't have. She
Right.
would have wanted this. So
right,
have
and
that
that
all
happens.
written out.
Yeah.
So then there's no guilt involved. And once you
Right.
get to those trigger points along your path, it's all written out. There's no emotional decisions. There's no
Right.
guilt. There's no nothing. It's, folks have chosen what song they want played at their service.
That's
I
right.
mean, you can be very, very specific. So if you don't have an Advanced Healthcare Directive for you, your children, any adult in your life, get one, because if something, God forbid, happens. I know there was some legislation pending. Dr. Dorio was actually working on it. I'm wondering, I don't know the status, I have to admit.
He got it passed.
That they weren't going to allow, if you could prove you were a family member, that they would allow you to speak. I don't know if that passed yet or not, so that needs to
Did
be
it?
research.
I know he got a bill passed. It was a really big deal.
I don't know if that was, had so many irons
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
fire,
yeah.
but there's the one that, I can't remember we'll call it the family member legislation, but if you could prove but again, what if you are, been engaged to someone for 2 years and
Right.
now, you have no blood relation now, but if you want that person to speak on your behalf and it's on a legal document, then the doctors have no choice.
Right.
But yeah, just do your research, find out, exactly what the law says now, what your legal documents say. As I said earlier, it doesn't have to be, one of your adult children. So that keeps them from, nicking at each other as
Yes.
well. Choose a friend, choose someone that you trust, but just have something in place. So if something, God forbid, happens that you can't speak on your own behalf, someone else has been designated to do
Yes.
so.
Yeah, if nothing else, we've learned from the past couple of years, things really get weird in crisis situations.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and parents they say, "Oh, my kids will work it out. They love each other."
yeah.
No. When you put that that type of stuff on the table, be it money, be it health, be it whatever, sometimes that sibling love takes a vacation.
Yeah.
So don't leave it to that. Put things on paper, draw out the map, and that way everything's done at a certain point that you no longer have to worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, Myles, thank you so much, always. And thank you for being our sponsor forever.
Absolutely.
You've been our corporate sponsor since, I think, the beginning of the show, or close to it, at least 20 years, yes?
Oh, yeah. And again, it bears repeating. Please, everybody, create your own artificial intelligence password.
Yeah.
That only you and your loved ones know, that you don't share via any electronic device. So if someone calls you and you think it's them, ask them what the password is. It could save you a lot of grief.
Yeah. Okay, Myles McNamara, Comfort Keepers, corporate sponsor. Any pearl of wisdom you've got for the next minute or so?
Well, yeah, when it comes to home care, I always, talk about being proactive instead of reactive. So go to our website at comfortkeepers.com. Explore what home care is. It's a relatively new industry. See if it's right. And a lot of folks, are a little hesitant because they don't want to lose their independence. But I'm here to tell you that this actually enhances your independence
Yes.
because you stay the boss. We create a care plan to your choosing, and we come in and we help, in and out of it, because you don't want to have a slip and fall in the shower and break a hip, because that could be tough at 70, 80 years old. So just do some research to see if home care
Or
might be
87 years old.
or 87, birthday girl. But just to see if home care might be an option that could benefit you or a loved one, because, as I said, do the research now, look down the road, be proactive. We can always be there when you break a hip, but we'd rather prevent you from breaking that hip.
Right. And it's good to know that your services are available. There's a minimum 3 hour,
4 hour minimum, but
4
we're
hour
available 24/7.
So even if it's not such an emergency basis where someone's totally incapacitated, just having to care for a parent that isn't able to drive around on their own can take its toll.
Yeah.
Day in and day out, when you've got all your own responsibilities to deal with, but you want to do the best.
Yeah.
So for 4 hours, you can get some respite care from
Absolutely.
vetted Comfort Keepers.
Go to
And you don't-
comfortkeepers.com or give us a call at 287-4200 for a free assessment and chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Myles McNamara, Comfort Keepers. You are our corporate sponsor forever. We're also